by 2-inch spacing, a 5/8-inch tine. We want to pull as much organic matter out of the greens as we can. So our air fryer puts all our cores into a nice row. Then we use our core harvester. Just drive right over the greens. It scoops it up and dumps them right into the back of the cart. It's a huge labor saver. It gets a little dicey on some of our slopier greens. Just increases the chance for mechanical damage. You know, greens are really soft after we aerify, and they kind of heave up a little bit. So it's always a little tricky, but this does a nice job for the most part, and really saves a lot of the guys some wear and tear on their bodies, and just helps speed the whole process along. We let the cores dry out as long as we can, and then we want to get them cleaned up as quickly as we can, because if this gets rained on, it makes for a huge mess. So core harvester does a nice job. Here the guys are blowing greens after we've core harvested. So they're just blowing off some excess sand, a few extra plugs that the harvester didn't pick up, and then kind of opening some holes along the way. So here's some of that bridging it's just kind of unavoidable. So we want to try to blow those holes open with some air. Then we follow behind with the hose and try to force some more of those holes open with water. After we aerify, we use the core harvester, then we blow off the debris. Then we use a hose to open up as many aerification holes as we can. A lot of times after you aerify, they bridge with some debris or some dirt that's just brought up. So what we want to do is open the hole to create a nice cavity, deep channel for fresh sand to go in, and that's what helps keep the organic matter diluted, and greens firm. So that's really the goal. It's a long, labor-intensive process, but it helps get the best results. Top dress the greens. Just bury with a nice heavy rain of sand. Then we'll come back in, we'll let this dry, and then we'll brush roll it multiple directions to fill the holes in and smooth up the green. You can see that tire tracks on them now. They're soft from being aerified and all the equipment put on them. So each hopper holds 2 tractor buckets full of sand, and he can get about 3 passes per hopper. So it takes a while. It looks more like a bunker than a green right now. But the sand will work in really nice. We're brush rolling greens after the top dress. Smooths out all the tire tracks from the equipment that's been on them. Works the sand into the holes. Smooths out the surface. So we'll probably roll it about 6 different directions today, and then we'll just keep going every day until we mow them. There's the fairway aerifier. Pulling some nice plugs, getting down there. Just hit the bottom there, about as deep as my finger. This just helps remove some organic matter. We have some heavy soils in spots. Some spots are sandy, but for the most part it's pretty heavy organic, so we want to pull that out. Get some nice oxygen down there in the roots, let the roots grow deeper. Increase our infiltration, help our drainage. A lot of benefits from aerification. Here's the verticutter going right after the aerifier. You can see how much material it shoots up out of there. I mean, this is just excess leaf tissue. All that that's what makes fairways spongy and soft, and so all this is just going to lead to more ball roll, firmer fairways. Just getting as much extra leaf tissue out there, and there's still a lot of green left in there, so we'll come back in and we'll rake-o-vac this all up, sweep it up, circle cut it, get it nice and tight, kind of reset that growing point, get a good scalp on it, and fairways are going to come back better than they were before. There's our blower, trying to blow all the verticut debris into rows to make it nice and easy for the sweeper. Just make a few passes down the fairway and get it cleaned up. You know, aerification weeks where there's a lot going on, there's a lot of coordination. We're spread pretty thin, so anything that we can do to help increase our efficiency really is ideal. You're trying to get so much done in a short period of time. So here's the rake-o-vac. After we aerify fairways, we verticut them. Then we blow that verticut debris into a few rows, and then we come behind with this sweeper and we rake up all that excess material. This process works really well, especially if it's dry. So that's why we like some nice dry days, some nice afternoons during aerification week. And then it's ready for a circle cut and a blow, and we'll be good to go. Circle cutting fairways after aerifying, verticutting, and sweeping up the material. This just scalps down everything that's fluffed up. Gets a real tight lie in the fairway, reduces all that puffiness. That's what helps keeps fairways really firm. Rolling fairways. This time we're rolling 7 before we circle cut it, just because 7's one of the wetter fairways, and with all the rain we've had, it's kind of rutted up from all the equipment, so we want to try to smooth that fairway out before we mow it, so we do the least amount of damage to the turf as possible. And then we'll roll the rest of the fairways after they've been circle cut and blown off to smooth them up. Okay, we're on the top dressing tees now after they've been aerified and the cores were dragged in and then mowed. Originally we were going to verticut tees just like we did fairways after we aerified them, but seeing how it's the end of August and our fall's coming closer, we decided to skip the verticut just because it can be so aggressive, and just with the size of our tees and being the time of year, we're playing it safe. If it were June, it'd be a different story. We probably would have gotten really aggressive in verticut tees. So we're dragging in the sand on the tees. We use just an old piece of carpet that we've had laying around, put a piece of plywood on it. We just kind of cruise over the tee tops, and it does a pretty good job working the sand in. Then we'll water them tonight, try to knock that sand down and even a little bit more. Yeah. So it's Wednesday afternoon. We've had three full days out on the golf course to get done what we need to do, and we've had good weather for the most part. Monday we got a little bit of rain in the afternoon, which kind of slowed us down, but we were able to make up some ground yesterday, and today it's been dry. So I'm really pleased with where we're at through almost 3 days. So we still have a lot to do. I mean, we still have all the mowing that we need to accomplish during a regular week, trimming, and you know, detail stuff, and there's a lot of cleanup to do on Aerification week. I mean, it's just everything just gets so messy. So there's still a lot to do in the next 2 days to get ready. So now we're working on top dressing approaches. We'll take it out 15-20 yards or so, just to help keep approaches firm. You know, to maximize the chance if you land short, you can bounce and roll up onto the green. So we have some extra sand left over from our first aerification this year, where we top dressed all the fairways. So we're utilizing that extra sand. We already did the tees. Now we're working on doing the approaches. So we'll try to tie all these in. We'll work on getting that done. The weather's holding strong right now. It's starting to look a little stormy, but hopefully we can avoid it for the rest of today. So that about wraps up a lot of the major projects that we get to do during aerification. There's still many other things that we need to get done the rest of this week. Like I said before, we have some irrigation work to tweak, and some other small tree trimming projects and things like that. But yeah, we're really grateful that the membership allows us, you know, 5 closed days during these summer months to get all this stuff done. You know, it's really important, you know, for the well-being of the golf course. So it all pays dividends. So, all right, thank you.